Hi guys, this is Kunal Verma and welcome to my YouTube channel. So through this tutorial, I would be teaching you about the various data types, data structures that are there in Python. So I'll be talking about 4 data structures here, which are lists, tuples, sets, and dictionaries. So yeah, let's get started. So first I'll talk about lists. So list is a data structure which is mutable, it's changeable, the sequence is ordered, and they are enclosed within square brackets. Okay, so this is a way to create an empty list using the list function. We can also create a list, and as I've already discussed that using the type function we can check the data type of the list variable, so it comes out to be list. So as you might recall, you might think it's similar to array, which you have studied in C++ or Java, but no. Array, there's a limitation with it. The data types of all the elements of the array should be same, but here you see this is an integer whereas these are strings. So yeah, you can create a list using this. Similarly, using the length function, I can find out how many elements are there in my list. So there are some functions which you can do, some operations you can do with these list variables. So one is append, second is insert, and then there is an extend function. So let's talk about append function first. So using append, whatever is my existing list, I can add an element at the end. Okay, so my existing list was up till this 204 was my earlier list. So if I add Kunal to it, so this would be my list. And if I add these two, so you can see this is my complete list. We can index a list as well. So the 5th entry would be here, right? And this is a great operation as far as Python is concerned. So you can slice it. Slice means out of a given list, if I want a part of it, using this operator, I can slice it. And the end index, that value is not included. So the 5th index is here. So I would be able to get a part of this list, right? So using an insert function, at a particular index, I can insert an element. At 3rd index, I can insert this element. Yeah, append function I've already discussed. Another example, you can see it for yourself. I will be giving you the link to this notebook. You can explore, play around itself, change different values and see it for yourself. So one of the questions that gets repeated in many interviews is, what's the difference between extend and append? You might think they perform similar functions, but no, this is a slight difference. So let's see, suppose I have an object, I have a variable, I initialize it with 2 elements, 1 and 2, and I use append function. This is appending 3 and this is appending a list 4, 5. So you see, using append, I can add 1 element at a time, right? Only 1 element is added. And there's something called as flattening of the list. Flattening means if I want to flatten 4 and 5, I should get them individual elements 4 and 5. But here, as you can see, no flattening operation takes place. Whereas if I use the extend function, flattening does take place. So if I use the function extend 4 and 5 are treated as individual elements, but here this is not the case. So you can see it for yourself. So in a nutshell, what I can say is, using append, no flattening operation happens, and using extend, flattening operations does happen. So there are various operations that we can perform in a list, which are as sum, pop, count, min, max. From the name itself, you can guess the functionality, right? Maximum would give the maximum value, minimum would give the minimum value, pop would pop the element at that particular index, and sum would just sum up all the elements. For example, I have 5 elements if I want to do their sum. So you might recall, first n natural numbers, the sum value is 2, n into n plus 1 by 2, right? I can also replicate my list using just star operator. As I've discussed, pop would element the element at pop, at that particular index, it would give me that value, right? Count would tell me the occurrences of that particular element. For example, 1 occurs 2 times, right? Length would give me how many elements are there in the list. Minimum would give the minimum value and maximum would give the maximum value. So moving ahead, let's talk about sets. We all have studied in our high school, I guess. So in mathematics, it's pretty much similar to it. Whatever functions you could perform using in maths, similar functions you can perform in Python, like union, difference, intersection, and all. So it's mutable, it has no duplicate elements are there, and no ordering is guaranteed in it. So using the set function, I can declare a set variable, and again, no homogeneous elements are necessary. This is a string, these are integers, right? So let's suppose I have a set variable. I have these 3 elements here, Tyrion, Cersei, and Jaime. So people who follow Game of Thrones must be getting the reference where I'm taking these names from, right? So yeah, sorry for deviating from the topic. So yeah, so if I add another element to it, you can see it for yourself. There is no particular ordering involved, right? You can see it for yourself. If there was ordering involved, then Arya should be at the last, but here it's not the case, right? So let's perform some operations, like remember intersection, union, you all have studied in your mathematics. So let's perform these operations. Suppose set 1 contains these 3 elements, set 2 contains these 4 elements, right? If I perform an intersection, you can see Cersei and Jaime are the 2 common elements here, right? What if I add another element to it, right? So now my updated set 2 becomes this, Jon, Cersei, and Jaime. Let's see the difference. So let me recall it for you. Difference between 2 sets A and B, like set A minus set B, would give me all the elements that are present in set A but not in set B. So let's see. Set 2 contains Jon, Cersei, and Jaime, and set 1 contains Cersei, Jaime, and Tyrion. So what are the elements that are there in set 2 but not in set 1? I think your answer would be Jon. So this is what you will get as an output. So there's another function called as difference update. It performs this similar function towards difference. The only difference is that in difference update, we perform the new set is in place way of differencing, which means no new set is created. In the pre-existing set only, I perform this differencing operator. No new set is created. You can read it for yourself, right? Yeah. So yeah, moving ahead, I'll talk about dictionaries. So dictionaries, as you all might have studied, they contain key value pairs. It's changeable, mutable, it's unordered, and you can index it, right? So this is a way to declare a dictionary using curly braces. As far as list goes, remember, using square brackets, I declare a list. So let's get a dictionary, right? So P1 is the key, P2 is the key, P3 is the key, and the values are Kohli, Dhoni, and Rohit. So these are top Indian cricketers, as you all might know. So what if I want to access the value associated with the key P2? Simple indexing, pretty straightforward, and I don't think I need to elaborate much on this. What if I want to evaluate through all my keys? So using the name of the dictionary variable, you can loop through all of the keys. What about if you want to iterate through all the values? So using the values function, you can loop through all the values. What about if you want to access all the key and value pairs? So using the items function, you can do it. And it's pretty straightforward. What about you want to add a new key value pair? So you just need to declare the variable, create a key, and add the value, right? So you can see the results are updated. What about if I want to change my current key and assign it to a new variable, to a new value? For example, P1 was earlier containing Kohli, but now I want P1 to contain the value Sachin. So yeah, You can see it's pretty straightforward, nothing fancy. Let's talk about some major functions that we can perform on dictionaries, right? So from the name itself, it should be pretty evident what clear would do, what copy would do, what update would do. I have created a document, you can go ahead, read it. Okay, I will not be implementing all of them. I will leave it as an exercise for all of you guys. So yeah, I have implemented this update function just for a reference so you can see. So earlier the P4 key was containing the value Bumrah, but now if I want to update it, it's pretty straightforward, right? So now my updated key would contain the value Ganguly. It's possible to create nested dictionaries as well, a dictionary containing a dictionary, right? So let's say I have 3 dictionaries, T1, T2 and T3, and I want to create a new dictionary, right? So this is my team and its value would be my earlier individual dictionary, right? Team 2 would be the key and its value would be the earlier existing dictionary. So you can see the team 1 would be my key and the earlier existing dictionary 1 is my value, and within this is another dictionary, right? This is the key, this is the value. Similarly, this is the key, this is the value, and I can index it accordingly. For example, if I want to index the value, I would get if I index the key at team 1, I would get this value. Similarly, if I want to index this value, I had to go in deep as team 2 and India. Pretty straightforward and just standard piece of code, nothing fancy. So now let's talk about tuples. So the basic difference between tuples and list is tuples are immutable whereas lists are mutable. Again, one of the common questions that might get asked in your interviews, right? So you cannot change the values once you have assigned it to a tuple, whereas in list you can reassign the values, right? So yeah, see, let's create 2 tuples, my tuple 1 and my tuple 2. I've given them 3 values, and if I say the type, it turns out to be a tuple. So you can count the occurrences of the element. So if I use the function count, I'll get only 1 occurrence of gate. If I want to see the index of gate, I use the function index, and similarly I'll get the answer. So there are a few operations that you can do with tuples like concatenation, nesting, repetition, slicing and all. So this is some simple code snippet for concatenating 2 tuples. You just declare 2 these tuples and just use an operator plus, and the result you get is the concatenated version of the 2 tuples. Similarly, you can nest the tuples using the operator comma. You can also replicate this tuple 5 times, okay, using this operator star. So this is what I was talking about, immutability. Immutability simply means you cannot assign a value. For example, these values are fixed, you cannot change them. So yeah, that's all about data structures, guys. One thing more I want to discuss is, you might be in my earlier video I was talking about how to present this Jupyter notebook as a PDF file. Let me give you a use case why this would be required. Suppose you are working on a data science project and your manager says, okay, give me the report of what you are working, show me the insights. I have to present this to a CEO of the company. So what would you be doing? Would you be just giving your Jupyter notebook as it is to your manager and saying, okay, show this to the CEO? No, you would not be doing this, because your CEO would not be having Jupyter or Anaconda installed in his system. So how would he view your work? So in that case, you should convert this notebook file to the PDF file. I know there are many ways to do this, but I found this hack to be very useful, so I wanted to share with you. So just go ahead, download your Jupyter notebook as an HTML file. So let it download, it would download it. And then move to this site, html2pdf.com. I would be giving the link to this site, so don't worry. And just drag your HTML file here. It would automatically perform the conversion. Just wait for a few seconds and it would be done. Yeah. So once it's done, you can download it and you have a PDF file. So I hope you liked what I taught you in this tutorial, please like, please subscribe and share. It really helps me, it really motivates me. Thank you and have a nice day. And yeah, happy learning.